We need to correct the temperature, we need to correct the turbidity. Now that's where the magic is really. Our algorithm, we've patented, we've got awards around the globe for the technology and how it's deployed.
So I work with like a lot of contract operators, and so they run 7 systems. They could come in the morning, check a device like this, make some tweaks, come back at lunch and actually see the effect instead of having to wait till tomorrow or something. So
it really is just quite a simple sensor. That, in a nutshell, really is a lab in a sensor.
The applications where it can go in is it can be any part in any water or wastewater plant. Like, where do you see it used the most?
Anywhere. He was just working his way up the river and he saw a big spike at a particular time of day. Thought it was a bit odd. And over a series of days, he worked his way up and he actually found
I've got Michael here with Proteus. They do lots of different water quality monitoring devices. Thanks for coming on. So tell me a little bit about kind of the niche market you're in monitoring water quality.
So what we're doing is we're taking the lab technology that's been around for many years. It's proven, it's scientifically backed up. So fluorescence, it's a really good indicator of water quality. Now, there's a few tricks along the way to correct for background changes. So tryptophan will emit at a known frequency, but we need to correct the temperature, we need to correct the turbidity. Now that's where the magic is really. Our algorithm, we've patented, we've got awards around the globe for the technology and how it's deployed. And by fitting those sensors into a multiprobe, a bit like this one here, so where we've got multiple sensors fitted, we've got tryptophan, we've got turbidity, temperature, other sensors that you're probably more familiar with, like pH, conductivity. All of those in a single unit, simple deployment, can be used as a standalone logger on cable with RS-232 or Modbus. So it really is just quite a simple sensor. That, in a nutshell, really is a lab in a sensor. So no need to go back to scooping bottles and getting them to a lab and waiting 5 days for your results to come back. And they may be good, they may be bad, who knows?
Yeah.
If you've got this installed, you can start to see things happening over a day or as they rise when a process changes, and you can turn that information into a process control or a report, however you want to use that data.
So have you seen kind of this, because you're saying it's this real-time monitoring, is it every 15 minutes?
We can go down to every minute if you want, but that's way too much data. Water quality tends to change in environmental application maybe every hour.
Okay.
We've got the luxury of being able to come down as low as a minute, even less.
So if an operator, I work with like a lot of contract operators, and so they run 7 systems. They could come in the morning, check a device like this, make some tweaks, come back at lunch and actually see the effect instead of having to wait till tomorrow or something. So
even better.
Even better.
Yeah, even better. And because it's really just a sensor, it'll be on a cable here, be connected into SCADA with the right configuration. They could even just make the adjustments on their phone, do it all remotely. So it's just a simple wet datable connector. Or if you wanted to fit a battery pack on there and deploy it where you don't have access and you wanted to leave it for a couple of months in an environmental application, it would be there reporting what had happened.
Okay. And so can it go in, the applications where it can go in is it can be any part in any water or wastewater plant? Like, where do you see it used the most?
Anywhere it's wet. So it'll work on influent, it'll work on effluent, industrial, municipal. It'll work in freshwater, brackish, seawater, drinking water, bathing water. If it's wet, we can set it up and configure it to give you some good data.
So stream monitoring, stuff like that too, it's pretty strong at.
Yeah, exactly. So in the UK where we're based, we have the Environment Act, which is a national program to to map and report on the water quality around the UK. So these are deployed either on a pump system, pump kiosk, or deployed as loggers, or on a buoy, or a buoy, as we say in the UK.
Industrial wastewater, if you've got a discharger, the municipality, if you're like a Denver Water or something and you want to monitor, you don't trust their data, they could just throw it in the downstream manhole and just see what these guys are actually putting into the system.
Yeah, exactly. So you can look at what they're discharging. You could also, what they might want to know, actually what they're getting as a feed. So their feedstock might be, or their influent might be loaded by some industrial contamination. And in which case, it isn't actually the water company themselves that should be taking account of that. We can then use it for point source pollution. So you can work your way up the influent and see if it's coming from this plant, or if it's coming from that plant, or if it's coming from that source.
So your use case is like, okay, our plant's getting some weird numbers on, I don't know, what would be an example? Like our BOD's way high this month. Like, what's going on? Let's start moving upstream, kind of like an inflow monitor, kind of how they're monitoring and trying to figure out where the inflows. You're just doing the same thing, but for the properties.
Exactly. Yeah. And in fact, one of our colleagues was using one of these at the weekends, and just not this weekend, but in a while back, there's a case study on our website. He was just working his way up the river, and he saw a big spike at a particular time of day. Thought it was a bit odd. And over a series of days, he worked his way up, and he actually found a farmer was polluting and discharging his animal slurry without a permit.
Oh.
So a quick phone call, and he was advised to change his practices.
And a little slap on the wrist.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing knowledge today.
Great to talk to you.
Yeah.